for this section, we are going to be making a custom domain for a cleric, right? We'll homebrew it. Hey, okay. That was expected. Now, it was pointed out over the course of our previous nights here that there is a beer domain that someone had shared here on Kobold Press, and so it has the cleric level, the spells, and then it gives you the nice things that you get along the way. And you know what? We could very well reference this if we wish. I think for what we're looking to do, though, this is a beer domain, the Hearty Brew of Fortitude, Courage, Companionship. If you look here, heroism, blur, suggestion. This is maybe more the effects of alcohol instead of the effects of alcohol instead of the actual the brewing process, the creation process of it. And maybe that's where we can find a niche. If you like this custom beer domain, I don't think it's broken or anything as we were looking at it. And I'll put the link in chat if you want to take a look at what was offered here. But I think we can do something different. Just as we made a brewmaster as opposed to a guild artisan brewer, I think we can make this its own domain. You could see Shantae supporting brewing. Well, I mean, Victor, you can throw out a bunch of names, but unless you know this religion, what's the culture? What's the point that they're after? What are they trying to do? Like, we're just making like cool fantasy sounding names, but it's just a name. Like, what is the meaning behind it? Do you get what I'm saying? Derek going up. Yeah, so Icons of the Realm is the overarching. All the current generation D&D minis are Icons of the Realm. So I have Dragon Heist, and I have Monster Menagerie 1, and I should have a restock of 2, maybe dragons, Tyranny of Dragons. Anyway, I'll just say a miniature restock order to go in on Monday. And I should hopefully be receiving a restock of the other titles that I can get in by Wednesday. Fingers crossed. The extreme kind. So then, I mean, if that's the case, then the name would reflect that kind of conviction, that sense of purpose, of righteous justice, that kind of a thing. All right, so let's put this away for right now, and let's take a look. What would we want to call it? The brewing domain? Instead of just beer. Is this brewing domain? Brewing domain. Brewing domain spells. Cleric level. Spells. First, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. Bold, underline, make that 20. Bold, 20. Bold at 18. And then we're, let's see. So we have domain at 1. Domain feature at 2. Domain feature at 6. Domain feature at 8. Domain feature at 17. And there we go. All right, so this is the content that we're going to be looking through. Let me catch up in chat. Crusaders of the Wolf. So that would imply then that the wolf is their patron and they're crusading on behalf. Create and destroy water as a spell. Well, that'll be something to look at as well. Before we get there, let's put out the concept for what we want in this domain that we can go back and reference to. Actually, I don't know if any of you caught it. Derek was broadcasting some Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition character creation and going over rules. And while he did go through making a character from the ground up, he also reflected on characters that already had a blurb or a concept written, and then it sounds like he was going to apply the mechanics to the concept instead of extracting the concept out of the mechanics as a way to practice things. And I think that would be a good reference. That's not a bad spell. I think that's something that that can be used in the brewing process, right? To help measure. In fact, destroying water could save a lot on distillation equipment, right? But let's make our concept. What is our goal? If we look at a domain, for instance, knowledge. The gods of knowledge, including Ogma, Bokob, Galean, Orion, and Thoth, value learning and understanding above all. Some teach that knowledge is to be gathered and shared in libraries and universities, or promote the practical knowledge of a craft and invention. Some deities hoard knowledge and keep it secret to themselves. And some promise their followers that they will gain tremendous power if they unlock the secrets of the multiverse. Followers of these gods study esoteric lore, collect old tomes, delve into the secret places of the earth, and learn all they can. Some gods of knowledge promote the practical knowledge of craft and invention, including smith deities like Gond, Reorx, Onatar, Moradin, Hephaestus, and Gyobnu. Yeah, there's probably going to be a level 1 skill proficiency of some kind. I think brewing would have some crossover with life domain. The features should promote growth, trade, positive relationships. Well, don't forget, too, it could very well dip into nature domain as well, Plunder Loot. If this was Pathfinder, Caden Kalayan would be fitting to worship. But I say Shantae as one for sure for 5e since she supports agriculture. Craft is good too, so spells to do with crafting and nature. I agree, Chaotic Blue. And we'll get there. I want the what's our concept, right? The gods of brewing value resourcefulness The gods of brewing value resourcefulness and understanding of the world and its people. And an appreciation for the little things in life that can make big differences. While such creations of brewing result in brawls or wanton behavior, these gods concern themselves with the craft and its ability to connect people together. Because otherwise, we're just going to make the god Dude Bro with a popped collar polo and a backwards in a backwards baseball hat. And Dude Bro is the god of drunkenness and fighting and debauchery and look, there's gods that can cover a lot of that stuff. Though I think we want to keep it, instead of encouraging drunkenness, right? We want people to enjoy life. So people will drink to excess. That happens. This is a process where you should enjoy nature. Take little bits of it. And when you take a sip of the final product, savor the flavoring of it, the smoky hints, the citrus bouquet. Notice the little things that have gone into what it is that you're consuming. And let that be a part of you. It's not just armor to wear, and when it's dented, you pound it out or you abandon it or something along those lines. It's something that becomes a part of you. You're consuming it. And it's a way that you can enhance relationships and damage them. The god Dude Bro, Lord of the Keg, Master of the Solo Cup. You know, where I went for undergrad was a place called Ohio University, and they have a very well-known Halloween party in Athens, Ohio. And one Halloween, a friend, actually one who really formally introduced me to D&D, he and I did a Transformers-themed costume. And so he dressed up as Kegatron, and he could actually like curl up and held a tap on the top of his head. And so he could transform from a gray humanoid into a keg. And my costume was a beer truck. And my name was Inebrious Prime. So we had Inebrious Prime and Kegatron as drunken transformers. We didn't really get ripped and stumble around. We actually enjoyed our evening. But it was kind of a fun take on the culture. But yeah, I mean, we weren't taking it to the Dude Bro height. Agriculture discourages the natural order by promoting too much growth and too little decay. But Alzi, you know what? It may be not necessarily natural order, but we do recycle most or all of what we produce. And it at least goes back and it feeds animals and it goes on from there. So maybe we don't say, maybe we don't say natural, but we talk about agriculture or an agrarian lifestyle. Or sustainable. It's a sustainable practice. You can have balance, which is what Shantae's about. I would say at least there are deities, or rather groups of other deities, that are against people using nature, though. Groups that support other nature gods are against Shantae's teaching. I mean, farming and such, says Chaotic Blue. The list of beer goddesses is a long one. De Latis, Ninkasi, Tenant, etc. Oh, yeah, so we have a lot of good references. Thank you, Pneumonica. Derek says, I am your new hero. Oh, because I was Inebrius Prime and my fellow was Kegatron. Yeah, I've probably been exposed to too much WoW druidism. All wild nature all the time. Or too much. Shantae will find both sides. You can certainly play characters that are opposed to all human intervention. I just don't think Maddie has noticed I've been mentioning them. Has been mentioning a list of a cleric of Selinus. Oh, Dionysus, Ninkasi, Meth, M-E-T-H-E, Methe. I didn't, but it might have been because I came back and I started talking and I distracted myself. But yeah, I mean, look, you have Dionysus, you have Bacchus, you have even Athena, gods of the family and society. Because remember, brewing was a way to survive when you couldn't trust the water supply. It's something that every household did. So gods of community. Not just nature. It could be, in community, could reflect the fact that, yes, we're using the natural world, but we're using the natural world. We're sculpting it to our own human or humanoid ends. And so, you know, gods of civility or community or friendship or the like could be referenced here. Yeah, I agree with LZ Victor. Just put a placeholder name and just keep thinking. Something will come out. All right, so the gods of brewing value resourcefulness and understanding of the world and its people, and appreciation for the little things in life that can make big differences. While such creations of brewing result in brawls or wanton behavior, these gods concern themselves with the craft and its ability to connect people. Themes of community, celebration, and even decay or change are found to be taught among the clergy of these faiths. Oh, Yolandra, exactly. Yolandra, the goddess of halflings, that I think a lot of people secretly have a crush on. Yolandra is the goat mom of deities. How about that? To make an Undertale reference. Pneumonica says, it's always interesting to me how people think humans are unnatural. The human touch is by definition unnatural, as if we weren't products of the natural world. Yeah, it's sort of like the black and white. Well, if good exists, so must evil, when both are just simply an opinion. We say, oh, poor baby seal got eaten by a shark. Well, what about the shark? The shark needs to eat. What's it supposed to do? Order pizza like I did? Okay. Domain spells. Let's take a look. If we're going to use this as a guide, let's see what clerics get normally, and then consider what else we could take. Right? So, at first, Bane, Bless, Command, Create or Destroy Water is already on that list. Cure Wounds, Detect Evil and Good, Detect Magic, Detect Poison and Disease, Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, Inflict Wounds, Protection from Evil and Good, Purify Food and Drink, Sanctuary and Shield of Faith. So, let's now look at some other level 1 spells that we can compare to. Heroism might work, and that was on that other list as well. You know, detect poison in... Oh, okay, it is there. All right, never mind. Forget me. Do they get command? They do get command. So heroism might work. Oh, comprehend languages is not on this list. Comp language might be a good one as well. I'm just going to make a list of spells that are potential candidates. And if you have others too, I mean, you could shout them out. Silent image, and I'll tell you why in a second. Aha. Illusory script. Unseen servant. Okay, that might be that list. All right, hey, see you, Victor. I hope you were able to get some help, and we'll see you again next time. People often talk about other animals as if we ourselves are not. I get bothered by things like the paleo movement suggesting that we should be eating only what non-agricultural nature has provided. So a bunch of twigs and some mustard seed. Pretty much nothing you would find in a modern produce section existed before human intervention. Derek says, currently working on... on Judas Ray. I remember you talking about that character. Heavily based on the song Emperor's New Clothes by Panic at the Disco. I want to make a sassy character based on There's a Reason These Tables Are Numbered, Honey. We have to make sure you're a Toreador sometime. Want me to make one? Hey, there you go. Elsie has a soft spot for Tories. Okay. So looking at other players' handbook, spells that a cleric does not get at first level that could fit into the concept above. Heroism, comprehend language, silent image, illusory script, and unseen servant. Given this, I don't know if heroism is necessarily... Because, again, we're not talking about getting drunk and becoming bold and either fighting or whatnot. I think heroism can be dropped from the list. I think comprehend language would be an extremely effective spell because you can communicate with so many people in so many cultures. You can bring people together. You can... that's the one that'll also let you read other languages. So you can read recipe books. You can read trade journals and ledgers. Unseen servant, hey, summon someone who can help you to brew this, to brew the beer. Help you haul casks. Help you do a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, Elsie, comprehend language I think would be a good one. Now, silent image. You say, well, silent image? Why silent image? And I'll show you. You create the image of an object, a creature, or some other visible phenomenon that's no larger than a 15-foot cube. The image appears at a spot within range and lasts for the duration. The image is purely visual. It isn't accompanied by sound, smell, or other sensory effects. You can use your action to cause the image to move to any spot within range. As the image changes location, you can alter its appearance so that its movements appear natural for the image. For example, if you create an image of a creature and move it, you can alter the image so that it appears to be walking. Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be an illusion, etc. and so forth. So, the silent image, I mean, if you can understand the language, that's good. Silent image can help create images of people interacting. Can create a different type of cultural exchange. And also, if you're crafting, think of the Iron Man movies. You know, when Tony Stark wants to have Jarvis make a hologram. Jarvis, display whatever. Silent image is your Jarvis. And you can control and turn and manipulate. You can teach the craft to people. You can explain the process. Or it's a way to help you communicate with other people. Right? Because with silent image, you can make the image of a barrel, grain going in a barrel, water going in a barrel, sugar going in a barrel, seal it up, and then, I don't know, have something like a little clock animation in your silent image, and then when it comes out, show the barrel pouring into a cup. Silent image can do a lot of really good stuff. Just think of it again like a Jarvis, right? Create your holograms. Also helps comprehend language, sometimes helps with translating. Drunken Ease. What is the Animate Objects for tiny objects called? From Xanathar's. Well, there's an animate spell. There is an animate object spell in this book, in the Player's Handbook, TJ. Oh, yeah, the paleo diet is interesting, and it, I guess, is a quasi-parallel the keto diet. So, beer makes you a dabus? I don't understand that, Alzi. Or, if you would like illusory script, let's go up to that. You write on a parchment, paper, or some other suitable writing material and imbue it with a potent illusion that lasts for the duration. You and any creatures you designate when you cast the spell, the writing appears normal, written in your hand, and conveys whatever meaning you intend when you wrote the text. To all others, the writing appears as if it were written in an unknown or magical script that is unintelligible. Alternatively, you can cause the writing to appear to be an entirely different message, written in a different hand and language, though the language must be one you know. Should the spell be dispelled, the original script and illusion both disappear. A creature with true sight can read the hidden message. So, if you want to protect your, I don't know, maybe you want to protect a recipe, or you label special barrels with a magic script so that bandits will think that, I don't know, it's a barrel of manure instead of a lager. I bring this up to talk about it. I don't know if illusory script itself fits the community nature, but we're down to 3. Silent image or unseen servant. I think a lot of people take Unseen Servant, and so a part of me wants to rebel against that and just put Silent Image as the default spell. But I'd really like your opinion on that. I think we all agree that Comprehend Language would be really good for what this is trying to do. But what about Silent Image or Unseen Servant? Which one should take the other slot? Now, let's go to level 2 spells. Aid, Augury, Blindness, Deafness. There's a lot of things here. So comparing it to the others, Animal Messenger, Detect Thoughts, Enhance Ability, but they have that, but they don't have Detect Thoughts. Enthrall. So maybe detect thoughts. Enthrall. We do get enhance ability, okay. Flaming Sphere, Gust of Wind. Heat Metal could be interesting. Locate animals or plants. That could be, actually, that might be a good one. Find Steed, Lesser Resto, Locate Object, Magic Weapon. Not there. Barkskin, Beast Sense, Cordon of Arrows. Sorcerers. Ooh, that could be an interesting one. Enlarge, reduce. Knock could be interesting. You want to tap a barrel or something? Or you want to open up something? Especially if it's been like super sealed to ferment and grow. Detect thoughts. Gentle... Oh. I think clerics already get this, though. Gentle Repose. I would hope so. Yeah, Gentle Repose. That'll help keep things. Shatter. Shatter, that'd be interesting. Okay. So, I think here's some spells that we can work with for 3rd level. Let me see here. Dabus are the silent servants of Planescape's Lady of Pain. They speak entirely through pictures and symbols above their heads. Oh, I did not know that, Elsie. That's why they promote Heirloom, which is supposed to be a pure fruit veggie, like bread to be the closest to the past ones. But there's an argument that heirlooms don't really exist, or at least anymore, but it and organic would be the best things we have today in the eyes of paleo, which is what they're trying to achieve diet-wise. At Elsie, I did not know that about bananas. I just thought ancient ones were small. Another thought I had was sleep. Clerics might have to deal with unruly people. Levitate. Well, so... because this is about brewing, right? It's about the process. It's about creation. It's about kind of a holistic community where we take and we also give. It's not necessarily about drunkenness or drinking. I know it's really closely associated, though. I think that clerics can already cast sleep. No, they can't. Pardon, but I don't know how sleep or the would come into the play of brewing. I'm thinking mental spells like Crown of Madness. I like Knock too. I think anything that instills bravery or cancels out inhibitions might work best in this set. Yes and no, but so over here we have this as a, this is the beer domain. This is what beer does to people. And so this is, they actually put comp languages as well, but they also gave heroism, blur, because I feel all blurry, suggestion, because, you tell someone, go home, but don't drive. Look, aura, vitality, hypnotic pattern. So these are things that are emulating drunkenness or are emulating that. I think with our brewing domain, though, we're looking on more of a creation process or the process of a process. Yeah, exactly, Elsie. So if we're doing that, I kind of like... Well, I like touching on all aspects of beer with the spells, but we can focus on just brewing if that's what you're going for. Well, yeah, because, we can take this to a lot of different degrees, but also remember, brewing isn't just beer either. Because this can be someone who makes wine and wants to share wine socially, religiously. This is someone who makes moonshine in their backyard. Gaseous form at level 5, so you can check on the interior of partially sealed barrels. Yeah, that's a good idea, TJ. And plant growth, yeah, stuff like that. I like what you're thinking. Let's get our third in first, though. I kind of like knock, right? Let's explore that spell. You choose an object you see within range. The object can be a door, box, chest, set of manacles, a padlock, or another object that contains a mundane or magical means that prevents access. A target that is held shut by a mundane lock or that is stuck or barred becomes unlocked, unstuck, or unbarred. If the object has multiple locks, only one of them is unlocked. If you choose a target that's held shut with arcane lock, the spell is suppressed for 10 minutes, during which time the target can be opened and shut normally. When you cast the spell, a loud knock, audible from as far away as 300 feet, emanates from the target object. Knock seems really cool. If you're brewing in a distillery, in wine barrels, beer barrels, things like that, especially because if you did want to combine that with an arcane lock, I know we didn't give an arcane lock. I don't know if clerics get that. But if you want to lock your special brew with magic, it can suppress that lock. If we have comp language, let's go Unseen Servant for some extra utility. Enlarge Reduce would be a lot of fun. But I think locate animals or plants would be really appropriate for what you're trying to do. And then we can leave all the messing with mind stuff. Locate animals or plants and knock. Alright, now third level. Let's see. So we had... Clairvoyance could be interesting. So you can check on crops, you can check on parts of the city, or you can sense what's happening. Let's see. Dispel, Feign Death, Glyph of Warding, Hypnotic Pattern, Tiny Hut, Major Image, Non-Detection. Plant Growth. There is also Speak with plants. Stinking Cloud, Tongues. That could be an executive decision too. Although, do we get Tongues as we do get Tongues already. We get Speak with Dead, but not Speak with Plants, and we also don't get Plant Growth. All right, so we already have Clairvoyance. Druid Spells, Call Lightning, Conjure Animals, Daylight, Dispel Magic, Feign Death, Meld into Stone, Protection from Energy, Sleet Storm, Speak with Plants, Water Breathing, Water Walk, and Wind Wall. You cast Water Breathing and you dive into your own vat. Woo! That's a time. Some kind of environmental magic, maybe, to ensure correct conditions. Those giant tunnels for farming wild yeast are very cool. I did a paper for health or geography class and learned corn used to look different more than what I recall. There's a podcast I listened to which talks about medical history, and they did a whole feature on the history of GMO. It's really neat. I did know they used to have seeds, which makes total sense how they reproduce in the wild otherwise. Aura Vitality, Blinding Smite, Create Food and Water. Do we have Create Food and Water? I imagine so. Yeah, we do. Okay. Crusader's Mantle, Daylight, Dispel Magic, Elemental Weapon, Magic Circle, Remove Curse, Revivify. Lightning Arrow, Non-Detection, Plant Growth. I think Gaseous Form is a really... I think Plant Growth and Gaseous Form are what we're looking at here. Or Fireball. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with this. Make your yeast and other things grow in gaseous form for the practicality of testing your barrels. And also, look, if you can turn into gas and you're absorbing the... like you're passing through the gases that are being produced by your brewing process, you might be able to test or sample them in a way that suddenly taste or smell becomes tactile to you. And that can help you brew in a way that it can help you brew in a way that you've never considered before, because you're becoming a part of the product. Fireball is an overrated drink/spell. All right, 4th level spells. What do we have? Conjure Woodland. Oh, hang on. Let's go back to Compulsion, Confusion, Dimension Door, Freedom of Movement, Greater Invisibility, Hallucinatory Terrain, Locate Creature, and Polymorph. Blight, Confusion, Conjure Minor Elementals, Conjure Woodland Beings. Control Water. I think that would be a good one. Grasping Vine? Possibly. Aura of Life, Aura of Purity. Oh, I'll have to look at Aura of Purity. Banishment, Death Ward, Locate Creatures, Staggering Smite. Conjure Woodland Beings, Freedom of Movement, Grasping Vine, Locate Creature. Banishment, Blight, Confusion, Dimension Door, Dominate Beast. Greater Invisibility. Lots of stuff. Arcane Eye. Ooh, Arcane Eye could be a good one, too. Banishment. Everard's Black Tentacles. Ha! 1 in 10 barrels has a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, all sorts of stuff. Stone Shape could be interesting for uses in brewing or making containers. Confusion, D-Door, Dominate Beast, Greater, Polymorph, Stone, Skin, Wall of Fire. All right, now are these any of these that we already can't get? Banishment can... Oh, we already get Control Water. All right, that makes sense. And we already get Stone Shape. So that could be Arcane Eye. Let's check out what that aura is. That could be interesting. Purifying energy radiates from you in an aura within 30-foot radius. Until the spell ends, the aura moves with you. Each non-hostile creature in the aura can't become diseased, has resistance to poison damage, and has advantage on saving throws against effects that cause any of the following conditions: blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, and stunned. Does Aura of Purity seem like something? Yeah, become one with the brew. Exactly, Chaotic Blue. I've become one with the brew a few a few particular rowdy nights. Yeah, Fabricate for sure is going to be one of them. Aura of Purity seems street. Polymorph. Could it allow you to test out how stuff would taste on... Ah, okay. Yeah, Polymorph might be able to work. Maybe Blight. I mean, you basically make poison. Speaking of this, stream is bad for my health. Goes to crack open a pale ale. Yeah, let's check out Blight as well. Necromantic energy washes over a creature of your choice you can see within range, draining moisture and vitality from it. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. Takes damage. If you target a plant creature or magical plant, it makes a saving throw with disadvantage. Ooh, you know, that could work, right? You might be able to Blight, because we talked about having an infected barrel, and it was making kind of a beer vinegar, or vinegar in another alcoholic sense. If you want to reset your barrel, you might just cast Blight into it, and it'll drain all the moisture and kill all the vegetation, the yeast and everything that's inside. So actually, Blight, I think, could be a very useful spell to this domain. That's a very good observation. And yes, and I think Fabricate is the way to go here. Fabricate and Blight. Well, I don't think it works on object. It's in an aura around you. I think Blight can have a particular specific use. All right, and then 5th level spells. Animate Objects could be useful. If we have Unseen Servant. Animate Objects, Awaken could be interesting as well. Dominate Person. Dream, Gaius. Hold Monster. Legend Lore could be very interesting. Do we get Legend Lore? We don't. Why is this font different? Randomly, what's going on here? I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, Fabricate and Blight are just not cutting for whatever reason. Oh, you know what? I think it's the same as what this is here. Oh, 12 for 10. Thank you so much for re-upping on that. Yeah, it's using the TH to assume it's smaller. Try backspacing to the 9th and then tabbing back out. That's just being weird. I wonder... Why didn't it do it to the other ones? Alright, there we go. So X and Y are the ones we're looking for, and then we're going to put a TH here. Whatever, I don't care. Actually, let's do this. Ah! Ha-ha! Take that, software. But thank you again very much, 12 for 10 for that re-up. Creation as a 5th level. Commune, Contagion, Dispel. This is Cleric stuff here. Druid Spells at 5th level. Anti-Life Shell could be interesting. Awaken. Oh yeah, Awaken could be, maybe Awaken? There's another one here. Oh, Legend Lore. What else? Commune with nature. Animate objects. Creation, as it was brought up. Ooh, let's see. Cloud kill. Ah. Okay, I think we have a good list here. I wish there was a good crafting system somewhere. I guess the problem is if you know what to do, you never need to roll for it. Yeah, I think they kept it loose so that people don't get tied up because they would rather just make their own things, and so it's maybe a skill challenge or the like. I have a personal, at least a magic item crafting system that I use in 5th ed. Irony, hey, in my system, you want to brew crafting 1 top 3 ingredients: hops from the island of Apollo, yeast from the brains of mind flayers, beer formula of Odin's dad for real, 3 100 beer leprechauns as your helpers, 4 using the holy beer vat of the ancients, using it during a great alignment of the planets, a bunch of good rolls. Alright, let's take a look at some of these spells and see what's appropriate for our brewing domain. Awaken. 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 After spending casting time tracing magical pathways, you touch a huge or smaller beast or plant. The target must have either no intelligence or an intelligence of 3 or less. The target gains an intelligence of 10. It also has the ability to speak a language you know. Could be interesting. Animate objects. Objects come to life in your command. Choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range that are not being worn or carried. I think that one could be very useful in a brewing sense, right? A lot of different tools. You can animate things to happen. You have an unseen servant as well. What would come next then? Commune with nature. You briefly become one with nature and gain knowledge of the surrounding territory. In the outdoors, the spell gives you knowledge of the land within 3 miles. Let's see. Instantly gain knowledge of up to 3 facts. Terrains, bodies of water, prevalent plants, minerals, animals. Those are all very important. What would be creation then? You pull wisps of shadow material from the Shadowfell in to create a non-living object of vegetable matter within range. Soft goods, rope, wood, something similar. You can also use this spell to create mineral objects, such as stone, crystal, or metal. The object created must be no larger than a 5-foot cube, and the object must be of a form of the material you've seen before. So creation will make stuff out of raw, but fabricate will build it and can be permanent. I don't know then if creation is necessarily what we'd be looking for. And now let's check out legend lore. Name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings you to mind a brief summary of the significant lore about something you named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that has never been widely known. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information. The more information... so, I don't know, brewing seems like an everyday occurrence. I'm sure there's a legendary brew out there, but... I mean, how many legendary brews are there as opposed to crowns, swords of heroes, and everything? I think commune with nature and animate objects are going to be the way to go here. Let's see. Oh, legend lore is also cleric? Okay, sorry. I was looking away as you were telling me that. 5th level. Yeah, legend lore. Ha, derp. Well, we're going to take it twice just to be sure. Let me catch up here also. Getting exotic materials and tools would be the key to making a magical beer. Telekinesis might be useful. You can move objects of weight up to 100 pounds. Mead of Kvasar is a Viking saga about magical brewing. The Mead of Poetry. Ooh, interesting irony. I did not know that. If you need magical yeast, the Myconid mushroom druid people would be helpful. Yeah, circle of spores, right? I was thinking you could make barrels with creation or extra wheat or hops if you ran out. In my system, I would punish you mass-produced magic barrels as a penalty. The barrel you had master made from evil treants you killed with a bronze axe. Big bonus crafting barrels. Those are all my... No, I got you, Chaotic. Yeah, it's on there. Legend lore is a spell for clerics. Mass barrels, that's a paddling. I think we're good with this. Creation, I could see coming in handy, but especially if we do want to... Look, if we want to harvest, if we want to be good tenants of the land, we need to be into something that's more sustainable. I'm not trying to use that as a buzzword or something, but we would want the plants that we've grown. Even if it was with plant growth, those are still the plants. We're talking about GMOs earlier, right? But I think something like that, this plant growth could even help create more yeast, right? You make an environment in a barrel, cast plant growth, a yeast explosion, if you're not careful. All right, I think we have a really good list of spells. If you have any objections or see redundancies, please make sure to let me know. But I think we're onto something really good here. Now, let's go back to Cleric. Alright, so at level 1, you get something along with your domain. This is Blessings of Knowledge, so this will get 2 languages of your choice, and you're proficient in some skills. Here we have some bonus proficiencies. You gain proficiency with heavy armor. Your healing spells are more effective. For being a disciple of life. Nature domain, what do you get there? You learn a druid cantrip of your choice. You also gain proficiency in one of the following skills: animal handling, nature, or survival. I kind of like almost directly importing Acolyte of Nature into this. Or I don't know, maybe like change one thing. Proficiency with martial weapons, heavy armor. I don't think we need to worry about that. Wrath of the Storm. We're not an attacking cleric. Trickery Domain. You can use your action to touch a willing creature other than yourself to give it advantage on stealth checks. War Domain. Martial weapons, heavy armor, and your god delivers bolts of inspiration to you while you engage in combat or in battle. When you use the attack action, you can make one weapon attack as a bonus action. When you choose this domain at first level, you gain the light cantrip if you don't already know it. And you also get Warding Flare. Well, find plants or animals, I think, would get the fungus. Spoilage would be Blight. Purify food and drink arguably would destroy beer. I was thinking the other day that you could sabotage your competition. Yeah, exactly, with Purify Food and Drink, turning their latest batch into pure water. Yep. Here we go, Mr. Business Graduate, coming at us with a sustainability plan promoting synergy. That's right, I am Business Cat, if you've seen that Mr. Weeble song. Alright, I don't think we're really going to get any bonus armor or weapon proficiencies. So I think we should focus on something more like a skill. So domain 1 is going to be at first level. You learn one druid cantrip of your choice. You also gain proficiency in one of the following skills. Or we could almost we could almost combine that with what you get from knowledge. 2 languages instead of a cantrip. You also become proficient in your choice of 2 of the following skills. And your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that that uses either of those skills. And that's Arcana, History, Nature, or Religion. So this could be... what skills can we use here? Animal Handling, Nature, or Survival is what is coming from Acolyte of Nature. You also gain proficiency with brewer's supplies. And one of the following skills of your choice. Nature. I don't know about animal handling. History might work. And, history. Actually, instead of your choice at first level, you learn the Druid cantrip, Druidcraft. You gain proficiency with brewer supplies and in one of the following skills of your choice. Nature, History. That's a good joke, you. I don't know why Marvel hasn't tried to put advertisements on the Hulk. He's essentially a giant banner. I like that. By the way, welcome. You're welcome to join the conversation. We're talking about making a custom domain around brewing. We're having a bit of an Oktoberfest this week. You can start your brew with pure water in my system. You hunt it in Degraded the Elder Water Elemental, then brewed him. That'd be like the last boss, right? You want to make the ultimate brew, you got to capture an Elder Elemental. Oh, yeah, yeah, irony. Prestidigitation for warming or chilling. Yeah. Arcana would be interesting if you wanted to make alcohol with magical effects. That could also spill into things like alchemy or whatnot. Nature, history, arcana, or survival could work too. Because that's fine. That could be finding water if you're out in the wilderness. That could be scrounging and whatnot. You may... How is knowledge? Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses either the tool or skill of your choice. You could cheat. My beer is technically cursed. You can't drink enough of it, literally. Ah. So yeah, like a cursed brewing vat or a cursed flagon or something along those lines. All right, now we get a channel divinity. Starting at 2nd level, you can use your channel divinity to do something. Harness sunlight to charm plants and animals. Present your holy symbol, invoke the name of your deity. Each beast or plant creature must make a wisdom saving throw if the creature fails. It's charmed by you for a minute. Extra damage, trickery domain. You actually get, that invoke duplicity. Create a perfect illusion of yourself that lasts for a minute. Guided strike. Channel divinity. So it's used for attacks. It can be used for skills, or it could be used, if not for an attack, it could be used for some sort of a useful. Alright, you can use your channel divinity to tap into divine knowledge as an action. You can choose a skill or a tool. For 10 minutes, you have proficiency with the chosen skill or tool. Oh, what if this becomes like one of the auras? What if this almost becomes a, oh, come on. Spells. Radiates from you. Has resistance to necrotic damage. Or a vitality, healing energy. Yeah, that's fine, blue. Huh. I thought maybe we could give it maybe an aura of some kind. An ability, a 2nd level ability. What would that do? It would compete with Create or Destroy Undead. Well, eventually destroy undead. I don't know. I guess we'll have to, I guess we'll keep that open. What do we get at 6th level? Another channel Divinity in Knowledge. Healing spells heal you as well. So something very... I mean, they're all thematic. You can use your Warding Flare. So this enhances the ability that you already got at 2nd level. Creature within 30 feet of you takes damage. You can use a reaction to grant resistance to the creature. Okay. Dampen elements. Tempest is a reaction. Or no, I mean, you can push it. I don't know. I think it's worth pondering over. I'll tell you what, though. I want to get up because it's a little past 3. I want to take another break. So I think we've started on something really good here. And while I won't finish this up in a way that'll show up on YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube right now, hey, join our channel and our Discord and you'll have access to the finished product. We can finish this in part 3, but I want to get up and ponder. I also want to refill my jug here with some cold, fresh water. And maybe we can finish this out tonight and put this away. I've really appreciated your all's input, and I hope that this has been a fun step-by-step, at least a primer, in how to create your own domain, let alone think about something critically. Not everything has to be a damaging spell. You know, it could be very thematic, and it can be very useful. In fact, I mean, if we go up here, this is going to be... Oh, hang on a second. Do clerics already get Blight? I just thought of that. They don't. Okay. Ooh, all right. But think of creative uses for spells, too, and why they'd have it. Gaseous Form to check for leaks in barrels? Brilliant. Or as a way to taste test or otherwise experience your own brew? Blight in order to clean an infected barrel? Or even just to, you know, there's a crop failing and you don't want bugs or disease to spread to the next plot? My number 1 drink was Drow Gold Spec. Had little bits of golden fungus floating in it. Getting drinks from Drow nobles is hard, so it makes you cool. That's right, it's bragging points, Irony Golem. All right, everyone. Jam out here for a little bit longer. We'll come back and we can keep picking at this. But I'm going to get up and take a break, so thank you very much.